Hello, good evening, and welcome once again to Sports Scene. If I say right at the start of the programme that Aberdeen and Celtic are the two best teams in the country, I can point with justification to the positions in the Premier Division. I can also reflect on an astonishing afternoon at Pittodrie, where Aberdeen and Celtic both together proved that there is no substitute for natural talent.
Here's Black. There's the shot, and it's just passed. And now the counter-attack. Burns. Oh, a great run by Burns.
And a game that for 90 minutes flowed with fire and passion.
That's Davy Provan. Right across. And that's... Oh, well, look for yourself. Tempers are very frayed.
And typical of this fixture, not very far removed from controversy.
The Celtic player, that's unusual. The Celtic players are pointing out where that actually happened.
Just a little flavour of an entrancing 30 minutes you're going to see between these two teams. And also from England, Dundee United's opponents, Manchester United down at Nottingham Forest today, and a pulsating game against Brian Clough's men. And we'll be seeing the goals from the Spurs-Newcastle match, Spurs trying to regain a little prestige after their midweek defeat. But we start first at Pittodrie, an important day for everybody, but especially for a young Celtic player who today got the key of the door.
Brian McClare, 21 today, and I'm sure the manager will expect him to put some icing on the cake, and after all we saw him score a hat-trick at Tynecastle only a fortnight ago. Referee today is Hugh Young from Bellshill. He may very kindly turn to camera for us. Lives just down the road from me. Very popular referee, and on an occasion, of course, it's building up into the usual Aberdeen-Celtic tension. Aberdeen haven't lost a league game at Pittodrie since way back September 1983. That's a great record, and in fact, they won the last 7 consecutive league games. Oh, that was a very quick foul indeed. I hope it's not striking a kind of theme for the day. McStay almost getting that, looking as if it was held back. Free kick to Aberdeen. Well beyond MacDougall, and Black tries to creep round there. Davy Provan, I think he's going to be a key man for Celtic today, especially against the young fullback. It's going to be a big test for Tommy McQueen. And Willie Miller with McLeish at the back, and that was an awkward tackle. Referee says free kick. Very good position for Celtic this. The big men are up, Aiken is there. Johnston, not nearly as big as Aiken, but he goes up very high, and look at Johnston almost getting the touch. Surprisingly, Johnston was left very free at the back of that line. Well, there's an interesting shot. Scotland's central defender against Scotland's new striker. It's going to be a marvellous contest between these two. Goal kick. Well, there are some empty seats there because really the conditions driving up have been absolutely appalling, and they have roadworks around Lonscope which would drive you around the bend, if I can get away with an expression like that. MacDougall got the opening, brilliant play. McKimmie. And they can't get the shot in. Superb run by McKimmie, but Celtic tightened up, plugged the gaps, and now the counter-attack. Burns. Oh, a great run by Burns. What a marvellous piece of football that was. 2 great runs. And if only McKimmie of Aberdeen had that same kind of penetration near the penalty area as Burns eventually demonstrated, then I think Aberdeen would have got into the lead. Marvellous counter-attack by Celtic. Charged downfield by Burns. quite right to try it from that distance, just sliding by. Haven't seen much of the Celtic attack thus far. Burns did that well. McGarvey to Burns. Delays a beautiful little ball. It's going free. There's McStay. That is really a great asset for Celtic, is this man coming in from the midfield like that, just behind the attack. Is that a nudge, or was it, I think, a premature jump there by MacDougall? McGarvey guarding it, and I thought that was a hand myself, but it's a throw. McGarvey. McStay. Rather casual pass by McStay. Peter Weir. Makes it look very easy, Weir. Now Black. That was almost back. Danny McGrain, and I think offside. Black is offside. Exactly where Danny McGrain was, and now McAdam. Absolutely superb atmosphere inside Pittodrie, as there always is on these occasions. MacDougall on the run, he controlled it very well. Here's Black. There's the shot, and it's just pass. Now, from this angle, quite obviously, it's difficult to say how near that was, but judging by the roars of the Aberdeen supporters on the far side, it must have been very close indeed. Stark. Black. Stark. Here's Weir. Just a bit too much. Aberdeen, the masters at the moment. There's a nice little turn by MacDougall. It must be, no! What, 0-10. I think the ball had gone over eventually, but what a marvellous moment for Aberdeen to take the lead. And they spun it right across goal. I think simply far too anxious. McClare. McGarvey. Good ball by McGarvey. Well, I think handling that ball is a free kick to Celtic. Very quickly taken. It's McGarvey. Proven. Free kick. I think McQueen's going to be booked for that. Well, I've seen much wilder tackles than that one, but name of the book. Nice curling ball, Aiken almost there, but inevitably the figure of Willie Miller. Looked as if he was being held back. He was indeed. Well, the referee waving play on. Oh well, Johnston. Angus, and must be a free kick, surely. A free kick to Celtic. That's Davy Provan. Right across. And that's... Whoa. Well, look for yourself. Tempers are very frayed. Defenders sometimes lose the place when the goalkeeper is molested like that. And in they went, and I think McGarvey is going to be booked for it. Certainly they incensed the Aberdeen defence by the way he went for the goalkeeper. That's the third booking. Right down the line to MacDougall. Ball still in play, beautifully fed to the side. Oh, Simpson far too slow. Oh. Well, the referee's waving play on. I thought there were at least 2 free kicks there. Angus, he will get a shot in, and that's a point save. Now, the game has been extremely tousy in places, but we haven't had any clinical finishing at all. Opportunities have been very few, although the penalty areas have been crowded, and that was one of the cleanest strikes yet. Johnston, wriggled clear. Miller does it so easily. Stark in the break, Miller wants to come with him. MacDougall, much too soon with that. And kept in by Miller, great play by the Aberdeen captain. Black is away now. Field for handling, and Black is incensed about that. I think the referee has given it, the linesman certainly did not, but Aberdeen do get the free kick. We've had some great examples of counter-attacking from both sides, done at great pace. There's a Black header, it's in. 1-0. As simple as you like, 53 minutes gone, 1-0 for Aberdeen. And after all the tempestuous play we've had, a textbook and simple goal, expertly headed down. Always difficult for a goalkeeper to stop a header like that. And the young man who didn't play last week because of injury has come back with a bang. Black, free kick. They were contemplating the short one, but the Queen takes it eventually. Referee waving play on. Linesman had his flag up. Danny McGrain, and there's Weir. Free kick. Now, is this going to be a booking? Yes, I think it will be. I think the persistence of the fouling more than anything else, and they're having wads with each other. Booking for Danny McGrain, the 4th booking. Peter Weir himself to take this. Look at that crowded area. Well away by Aiken. 9 minutes of the first half remaining. Aberdeen in that very vital lead. 1 goal by Eric Black. Black wide on the left. That's a free kick. You know, there really has been some wild tackling in this match. Referee wants that defensive wall right back. That's not a bad ball, and McLeish. Well, the big defender finding himself in an amazing amount of freedom. The latitude given by the Celtic defence there, I think, was almost criminal, because he's very good in the end. He got that all on his own. High one by McQueen. That's McGrain. McGarvey did that well. Provan. Looked good running at the defence, and that's Aberdeen sweetly out of trouble again. Some great play. Angus follows it up. Black is wide. Good move by Black. What is a cross like? Not a bad one. Great clearance there. And that's in. McKimmie. 2-0. There was a deflection, but McKimmie gets the credit. Virtually on the half-time whistle. A very ragged-looking Celtic defence taken totally by surprise. goalkeeper had absolutely no chance of stopping it eventually. There was deflection that McKimmie, his name, goes on the scoreline. Paul McStay. McLeod, that's a good ball, and Johnston not so very far away from that. And that loud roar signifies the end of a quite astonishing first half. A bruising battle in many ways. I hope it doesn't get out of hand. The referee booking 4 players. Some of the tackling quite savage, but Aberdeen playing some of the best football I've seen from them in a long, long while. A totally transformed team from the side I watched at Tynecastle last week. Thoroughly deserving of that lead. Playing great football. The first goal, a very simple one, but that's what headers are. You've got to make it look simple and effective, and he did. And then that goal, which we will credit McKimmie with, deflected certainly, but the fullback, who's been aggressive like all the Aberdeen players, coming in to crash it through that Celtic defence. And I wonder what the situation will be in the second half after David Hay gets into his players in that dressing room at half-time. Hugh Young restarts the match, and one ponders the possibility of a game that could get even towsier. With 4 bookings already, the players will have to be extremely careful, and there's a history of some needles in this match, because no fewer than 6 players from Celtic and Aberdeen have been sent off in the past 10 years, which is a very high ratio indeed. But I hope it doesn't develop into that. Aberdeen's midfield in the first half, beautifully balanced. Simpson and Stark in particular playing along with Angus, dovetailing well, getting the best use out of the 2 front men. That's what it's all about. McGrain, McStay, done very well on it. I think Paul McStay will have to become a little more aggressive. He had a very modest first half, Paul, by his own standards. Couldn't quite get into the game. Stark, cute little touch. Even cuter there by MacDougall. There's MacDougall running in again. He lays it back well, and that was Peter Weir drawing the foot back, ready to let blast. There he is. Oh, he's swept it out superbly. Oh, total duck by Simpson. I think he may have hurt himself. Black. Well, it's a good ball, MacDougall. Oh, Weir. It's not in. What an incredible miss. Oh, if they're looking at home at this again, they must be red-faced about it. The whole goal gaping, and he couldn't put it away. Neither could anybody. Robin gets free, and the tackle by Simpson. Woof, that was hard. Now Johnston, can he do something? He's got a bit of space. That's a good ball. McStay, and that was jammed eventually by Willie Miller. Not surprisingly, that was a good opening. Fine ball by Maurice Johnston. Difficult one, laid back, and McStay coming in, and watch the figure of Willie Miller then again. The main stumbling block for Celtic. The back header, and it's a penalty kick. Penalty. And there are no complaints. Well, Jim Leighton wants to question it, but Celtic get the penalty, and this could bring them back into the game. The referee pointing immediately to the spot. And so Maurice Johnston to take the penalty kick. 12 minutes of the second half gone. 2-1, sweet as you like. And that came so suddenly for Aberdeen, but in essence, Celtic had been getting back into the game for the past 5 minutes or so. And Johnston, given that opportunity, swept it away, and now this game is wide open again. Biller. Weir. Little bit of misunderstanding in midfield. MacDougall can't get anywhere near it. Ball much too obvious. McLeod. Good interception. Valuable one now. Weir. McStay goes with him. I simply ran out of ideas. Finds Simpson. To Black. Free kick. McAdam. And McAdam has already been booked. There's a fair thump. Weir takes it, and there's a header by Black. 3-1. Oh, he is one of the best jumpers with the ball in the business. He's not a tall boy at all, but he really gets up. Spring heel jack, deft flick, 3-1, 16 minutes of the second half gone. Just when Celtic were beginning to take a very strong grip of the match. Proven. Well, there's a great chance, and it's in, and it's offside. Linesman had his flag up. McGarvey and I think Johnston both in an offside position. Ooh, that's a risky ball indeed. Picked up by Burns. That's a superb pass, and that was a very late tackle. That is a free kick. And McStay is in some pain. Indeed, there's a booking on here. So, Alec McLeish gets his name in the book. The 5th booking. The Celtic players, that's unusual. The Celtic players are pointing out where that actually happened. The referee is insisting that they get that ball back. And the defensive lineup includes every Aberdeen player. All behind the ball. McLeod goes for it, and there's a deflection, and I think the sting was taken out of it. Celtic, I have seen score 2 superb free kicks this season already, utterly deceiving the opposition. Aberdeen in a lead that suggests it's commanding, and yet Celtic are still toiling away. Get the impression one more goal from Celtic here in the game would be in a very interesting situation, and that is part of this very unruly game. Look at this. Now, who is going to be booked out of this melee? Some of the tackling really has been savage. It seems to me as if McStay himself is going to be booked. However, we shall see. And McStay, after that long pause, is going to be booked. bad feeling out there is quite tangible. Also frightening at times. That's a good ball. McClair. I don't think it went over. Well stopped by Leighton. Good thrust there by McClair. Black, neatest of touches. MacDougall. Ooh, almost got through. Probin. Now Paul McStay. Probin, good run. McQueen goes with him. Wants to take the full back on. That's a great goal! McGarvey. Oh, yes. 3-2, and Celtic fighting back again. That coming from the right, sweeping downfield with only, by our watch, 6 minutes left. Right across to McGarvey, who had a chance like that earlier. This time, he did make sure in this remarkable match. And we're having a substitution. Mitchell is on. McStay. Now Probin. McGray. Well, Aberdeen were looking slightly vulnerable. Swept away, but to McClair. McGarvey. Cahoon. That's a good ball, and it's McKimmie. Celtic putting on the pressure now. Brushed away, though. The counter-attack onto MacDougall and to Simpson. It's wide. Black. And it's there. MacDougall. 4-2. 5 minutes of the game left by, well, no, just under that, about 4 minutes left, and that counter-attack, I think, will clinch the points for Aberdeen when they were looking a little bit groggy, and there that ball swept away to the right-wing position and right in for MacDougall to finish off.
And that was a goal that killed the game in an astonishing afternoon. 8 players booked. Some of the tackles, I mean, up on the platform here, I could feel them. It made you cringe almost. That Aberdeen's performance in the first half in particular was quite outstanding, the best I've seen them play for a long, long time, but Celtic's traditional fighting qualities meant that Aberdeen didn't run away with it. They fought back very strongly in the second half. The fact remains, though, that Aberdeen are 5 points clear of Celtic, and not just in terms of the margin, but the way that Aberdeen played this afternoon. I think they're uncatchable, which is why the vice-chairman of the club, Chris Anderson, is looking a very contented man. Are you surprised, in all honesty, considering what you went through in the closed season with injuries and transfers, that you've achieved this position?
No, not really, Archie, not really. I think that the young players who come into the side have filled the gaps left by the international players, and so far as the game today is concerned, the club, the players, the supporters all recognise this was our game of the season. And they were determined to play their very best here today, which I think they did.
You indulge in a lot of long-term planning, though, Chris. You seem to me almost the ideal club in terms of organisation. How do you operate with yourselves, the board and the manager?
Well, we bring it all together. We feel that the communication link should be very short between the players and the board, as well as the players and the manager. And we like to believe that the short meetings and short discussions are the way to get things done in professional football.
It's very much a family concern. I mean, the Donald family have been the dominant family, and, you know, everybody sort of spirals out from that.
That's right. And in addition to that, of course, we've got the families in here at Pittodrie. We know we've got the biggest family support in the whole of the country.
How do you know that?
Well, we've done our statistics checks, and we know that we've attracted not only the wives, but the girlfriends and the youngsters to Pittodrie. and they know they're safe and they'll see good football.
Yes. It is a different kind of spectator here, isn't it? I mean, they sit and they applaud. Sometimes you feel that they're not behind the team at times, you know, they're there to be entertained.
Ah, but you don't know North East soul, you see, Archie. The North East people are very reticent and they're slow to move and slow to go into action. But once the team scores a goal, that their support is there, and we know it's there. We know it's not so sharp and incisive perhaps as we have in the west of Scotland. But so far as we're concerned, in Scotland, north east of Scotland, our support is the best in the country.
Would you say that that was a typical Premier Division game? I have just had the feeling, Chris, that overall the standard this season has not been as high as, say, the previous 2 years.
I would agree with that. I think the top team has still got a high standard, Dundee United, Celtic, ourselves and maybe Rangers, but the other clubs have certainly fallen off a bit, and I think the gap has opened up.
Yeah, well, that was a very good game today. I mean, it was pretty hard, wasn't it?
That was an excellent game, and I think in the Man United, Dundee United game I saw at Manchester recently, and that game here today, I think we've got the highest standard in perhaps UK football.
Well, I hope so. You're going down to Manchester to see the game,
Yes,
aren't you?
we are.
I'll probably see you there. And the next game we're going to see is from England, and it's involving Manchester United, no less. They were down at Nottingham today. They had the biggest crowd of the season there. Remember, Manchester United are still trying to find the blend, and they've got this very important game.